Okay, today we're going to be discussing, moving on to standard 3, probably my favorite standard, logarithms, because logarithms are very practical, as you're going to see as we do some problems. They're all related to exponents. Now, rather than go through all that crap on front, I'm going to explain what a logarithm is. Here's how you read this. Log base 3 of 81 equals x. I'm going to say it 2 more times. Log base 3 of 81 equals x. Log base 3 of 81 equals x. Here's what you need to do to solve this. Find what the x equals. This is called your base. Put b. This is your equals, so put equals there. I know you're like, the equals is there. Why would it be here? Just trust me. And this right here is called your exponent, so exp. B equals exp. So you need to write a new equation with a base 3 to the x power equals 81. Now, you don't divide, okay? That's wrong. It's not 3 times x, it's 3 to the x power. So what you're trying to figure out is how many 3's it takes to multiply to 81. So 3 times 3, well, that's 9. That's not 81. Times 3 again, that's 27. Times 3, that's 81. So how many 3's did I have here, okay? So 3 not at 81, times 3 not at 81, times 3, now we're at 27. Times 3. So that's 4 3's. So x equals 4. Okay, next one again. B exp and then equals. So 2 to the x power equals 32. All right, so 2, obviously not 32, not 4, 8, 16, 32. Okay, got it. So how many 2's was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x equals 5. Okay, now again, 9 to the x power equals 81. You should know that in your head probably. 9 times 9. There's 2 of them, so x is 2. Now you're like, well, what about a fraction? I don't know how to do a fraction. Well, here's what you're going to do. That's your base. That's your exponent, 3 to the x power. And that's what you're equal to, 1/9. Just circle 9. Figure out how many 3's it takes to multiply to 9. So 3 times 3, obviously 2. But since it's 1/9, our exponent would have to be negative, so it's -2. So when you get that fraction, the reciprocal, you just say, okay, it's a negative answer. Okay, next one. 2 to the x power equals 1/64. Now we're at 4. 8, 16, 32, 64. Okay, so there's 6 of them. So 6, but since it's 1/64, we make it -6. Okay, next one. Base, exponent, so x, and then 243. So 3 times 3, that's 2 times 3, 27. And if you're not good at mental multiplication, use your calculator. We're at 81. $243. Okay, so how many 3's did that take? It took 5 3's to give me a product of 243. Now, what you need to do is pause the video and go do numbers 1 through 8, but I want to do number 5 with you, okay? No, 5 and 6, yeah, 5 and 6 I want to do with you, okay? base, exponent, and equals. So 9 to the x power equals 1. Now you're like, how could 9 equal 1? When you are equal to 1, your answer is 0, okay? Because watch what happens. 9 to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0, we didn't learn that last year, okay? So if your answer is equal to 1, if your product's equal to 1, and you look at that, you're like, oh, it doesn't make any sense because there's no way I can multiply 9s out to get to 1, then the answer is 0, okay? Just trust me. Okay, and then this one, base, exponent, so it's 1/2, parenthesize the fraction to the x power equals 8. So again, what I'm really doing is taking 2's and try to multiply them to 8. So 2 times 2, there we are, so 3. But since there was a 1/2, it's -3. Okay, now pause the video and then you do through 8, okay? Okay, now that you've done 1 through 8, watch what's going to happen, because now I'm going to teach you a surefire method that works every time. And you can even use it with these first ones we just did. It's fine. So base, exponent, and that's what it's going to be equals. So 7 to the x power equals 35. Okay, now let's say, okay, I'm trying to find what x equals. So 7, that doesn't equal 35, times 7, that's 49. I'm over 35. There's no way I'm going to be able to get back to 35. So what I need to do is set up a formula known as x equals log over log. Okay? Now you see the log button on your calculator, you're going to be using that, okay? The log of your base has to be on the bottom, okay? So you're going to take 7, it's got to be in this order too, because like, you know how bottom is like always a base? The base is on bottom, and then what it's equal to is on top. So what you do is you punch in log 35, close the parentheses, divided by log 7, close the parentheses. And round your answer to the nearest hundredth, so 1.83. Which makes sense because I know 1 7 wasn't enough, but 2 7s was too many, so it's somewhere between 1 and 2. Okay, next one. That's your base, and that's your exponent, and 66 is what that equals to. So 8 to the x power equals 66. So again, 8 times 8, that's 64, but if I times by 8 again, I'm way over 66, okay? So I need to use the log over log. Again, you got to put the base on the bottom, the 8 on bottom, the 66 on top, okay? Close that parentheses or it won't work. Divided by log, so 2.01. Makes sense because 8 to the 2 8s makes 64, so 66 is just a little bit over, so 2.01. Okay, now these ones here are nice, and the reason why they're nice is because I don't have to get it out of log form. It's already in the form I want it, okay? So, again, I want you to use x equals log over log. The base goes on bottom. The 216 goes on top. It works every time. When the x is a power, this works every time. 216 divided by log 6, and I got 3. The reason you got such a high number because 6 times 6 times 6, 3 of them is 216. Okay, next one. Again, that's your base. So again, x equals log over log. The 8 goes on bottom. The 200 goes on top. .55 means 2/8 would not be enough to get me to 200. 3/8 would be too many, so it's somewhere in between. Okay, now the next one, 10 to the 2x power equals 99. Here's what I'd like you to do about this. I would like you to circle this and separate those two. So it's not just x, so you're going to put, it's going to be 2x equals log over log. And you're going to put your base 10 on bottom and 900 on top. So I will have to divide by 2 after I find my log, the quotient of the logarithms. Okay. So 2.95, and then to find what your x actually is, you need to divide by 2. So 2.95 divided by 2 is 1.48 about. Okay, next one, make that 3 a positive. I want that to be a positive. Again, circle your base and exponent. Now separate them. So I know that my exponent, 3x plus 2, equals log over log. Divide by 3 and 500. So when I figure this out, I'm going to have to afterward minus 2 and then divide by 3. So log 500 divided by log 3. 5.66, but that's not my answer because it's not, x isn't by itself yet. Minus 2, 3x equals 3.66, divide by 3, 1.22. Okay, now you can stop the video since it's done, and now you can go do 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so remember this, you have to get rid of the logarithm. So 8 to the x equals 22, and then 2 to the x equals 28. And then you have to use x equals log over log, x equals log over log, and do the same thing here. Here you already have it, the logarithms out, so x equals log over log. X equals log over log. Again, get rid of that. 7 to the x equals 19. X equals log over log. 3x equals log over log. And 2x plus 1 equals log over log. Okay.